Hey guys, I've got some interesting announcements coming up. I've had the book out for a while now, about 2 months, but I'd like to show you, preview, what it looks like. Oh yeah. Alright, so, title of the book, of course, Chi Cultivation and Manipulation. Of course, my name. Anyway, so, I was going to dedicate a good portion of the time in this channel to actually explaining the process of what actually happens in the book, going from the breathing techniques and the meditations and working your way up to the point in which you can actually see and move and, actually see the chi coming out of your sphincter. Okay, so big thing that I wanted to really cover with this book is how do I break down the idea behind chi in a philosophical way. So some people like to think, oh, it's like Star Wars. Star Wars is a manifestation of the Force, the chi. The Force is the way, chi is the way. Yin and Yang, Taoism, that kind of spiel. My tangent for Star Wars is simply to say that the space opera that George Lucas wrote is so much more in-depth and so much more relatable to actual process and actual practice of chi cultivation. So I'll just give the rundown and show you what I got for you, alright? So the table of contents, we have two categories: perceiving and understanding chi, and the exercises and practice. And the perceiving and understanding chi portion of the book is simply the terms. So I have a definition and lists. I have how chi cultivation works, how chi visualization, the mindset. So this is how you get your mind ready to perceive it. It's almost as if you were to take upon yourself to be a sports athlete. But if you're an archer and you're shooting arrows, you have to think about the mindset of an archer. Is he looking down the arrows? Is he looking at his path? Is his stance correct? It's the same idea with chi cultivation. If you're going to be a chi manipulator, meditator, whatever the case is, how is your mindset going to influence it? So I got that. Creating tulpas, how to visualize the action in your mind, and then how to attribute it to your body during meditation. You have a level of control, so how much do you want to believe in it? How much do you want to focus in it? How much do you want to get your point across through the utilization of chi? We have using anatomy or utilizing anatomy, and ideally what that is about is you have to have a good understanding of yourself in terms of physical self to really excel at feeling out chi moving within your body and how to force it to go to different places. So that's, of course, how do you command your body, and then you have to command your mind. And then as the exercises go down into the second section, we talk about posture, we talk about practice meditating, we talk about body tulpas, which is how to manipulate chi through the entire body. We talk about chi detection, so how you can feel it or how you can visualize it moving in your body. Chi manipulation in terms of controlling where it wants to go and how effective you want to do it. And then we get into some things a little bit more advanced, such as pineal gland activation and kundalini and astral projection. And those are built on the foundation of the past exercises. You can't really get to a successful kundalini trance or an astral projection that's felt or feels real in that regard unless you build upon the past experience with the exercises that are listed in the book. And then you have healing and loosening muscles, so you can visually in your mind and through meditation loosen your muscles. You can apply chi to physical activity, so you can like harder punches or kick faster reflexes. Construct creation, so you can manifest chi physically outward, so you can actually see it, as I discussed, with the hand, the fingers, and being able to push it like flames. Then, of course, the hardest of them all, but the most rewarding, is biokinesis, which is to, over time, change your physical attributes using your mind and meditation and chi detection and DMT and all that kind of stuff that's covered in the book. So, that's the guide right there. All right. So I got an introduction, and we had different quotes. My introduction quote is from Mr. Glass from Unbreakable. These are mediocre times. People are starting to lose hope. It is hard to believe that there are many extraordinary things inside themselves and others. I hope you can keep an open mind. And the reason why I wanted to put that quote in the front is to people who have no idea what this is, if you're just turning in or have no idea what chi is or anything of that sort. I want people to put aside their past beliefs, put aside whatever they don't know or don't understand, and to fully embrace what's in the book from an objective perspective. Not subjective, but objective, so that you can fully take in everything, process it, and then decide for yourself whether it's something you want to pursue or whether you want to indulge in. So I have different quotes lying on the book. I even have some Star Wars quotes, and I have tulpas. I have the formulas right here, so you can see how tulpas are created on top of, blocks and blocks of text. So it's not a light read, as some people would want, but it does have pictures, and people love pictures. So you got a heavy read with backup of light pictures. Then we have some funky drawings I do myself. Got breathing techniques, that kind of spiel, standing, sitting, all the kinds of different complacents. Alright. Full body diagrams with chakra centers. And for people who are really interested in really diving into this, you can get it on Amazon if you want. The book is on Amazon, as well with the form book DMT Meditation. But just to give you an idea of it, the conclusiveness of all this is a lot of time that I spent over several years researching, getting to this point. I even get to the actual coloring and attributes. How do you explain to people, that you can actually see this? So the more you practice and the more that you get into it and the harder that you believe in this. Not to say harder, it's like, well, you have to truly believe in yourself and you believe in the process, and then through the actions and through the feelings that you get and through the outward expression that you can actually see and actually hold it between yourself. And that was the idea behind the chi going through the fingers, chi coming out of the fingertips when you're holding slightly cusped, not gripped, but just slight, and you release and release. And through every time you release, you're visualizing. Every time you release, it comes out of your fingers. So there's just different stuff. Forming the ball. This, of course, is all the fundamentals that you have to work on and repeat work on. And people are always wondering, can you actually see it immediately? I would feign not to, unless you're experienced with prior psychedelics before and understand how chi works and how you can visualize it in a physical way. It takes a couple months to actually get to the point where you can see it in its physicality. It's a wispy substance, it's airy, it flows, and you can concentrate it, all kinds of stuff. And of course, pineal gland activation, getting it to the point where you're really getting into it. So DMT is involved in it through your own self. And the reason why I wrote the first book, DMT Meditation, was to get across the idea that DMT is created inside you and you can use it. And so this book is to help utilize that DMT version within you. So you have physical activity, like how do you break bricks with a simple slice, concentrated chi. There's also a video of a master who'll take a roll of toilet paper or a towel, and he'll wrap it in aluminum foil, and using his chi, he'll wrap it around and force energy into it until the metal gets so hot that it smokes the inside of the towel, creating fire. So the body heat transfer of chi can apply in that sort of way. But you don't really have to necessarily go for that. The whole point of having a tulpa or having different ideas behind your back is that you have a foundation and then you can utilize it. The whole point of concept creation is that you can go from I want to do this to a couple months later being like, I can do this. I am doing it, and through meditation. And yeah, I mean, there's got more practice ethics. I put an Arnold quote in there. I think that'd be pretty funny if you guys see it out. But I want to leave the last note on chi cultivation and manipulation to you guys, so you understand what I'm getting at with the book. As of now, I have been on a 3-year anniversary of stepping into the unknown and risking my happiness. It has been 3 years realizing how little I know about myself and the world, 2 years since knowing that my body was capable of doing, and a year of practicing and experiencing with the greatest knowledge I have known to come across as the human species and in this universe. I know that that what I've seen seems whack. I wish I could say that all this was a work of fiction. I once wished it wasn't so spiritual, but I'm satisfied and content in my life because of this. And the first paragraph is saying that I am content with what I've researched and experienced. And I've come to realize that it's so much more powerful than people really understand. It gives me a new and renewed appreciation of life. Every single guided meditation session has been very participant reach their pineal gland through their own intention. So every single person that I've individually practiced with has been able to activate their gland through the guided meditation. Each had felt the different mental state under the onset of DMT, and some even were able to do it further and direct it into their muscles for healing. The ankle test, chi manipulation, body tulpas, and other directional intentions revealed to the volunteers that they had a greater understanding about themselves, subsequently understanding just how much stronger they are with themselves than before they started this. When they knew what they had done through meditation, they were amazed and in awe, and what transpired was far more than they could understand. Realizing that I need to expand the idea of practicing Qi and having lessons with people, I began to teach a few ambitious people to the point in which both experienced the beginnings of Kundalini. I am beyond proud of how they've been able to take it and adapt it to their lives. Experimenting with all these outlets with Qi has left me somewhat fulfilled and somewhat sad. I have had my share of experiences that are beyond worldly and feel truly humbled, but sad knowing just how little we as a species understand who we are. Case in point, the strongest of the human abilities regarding Qi, inner abilities, and occult magic has been held secret above all forms of magic to ensure most of us remain asleep to our own abilities inherent as human beings. You could then infer that many parts of our lives are filled with poisons and intended to keep us in a dumber state of consciousness. But here you can learn to rise above all of it mentally. Our minds have such a powerful influence on ourselves, on the world, and how we take it in everything. Creating new perspectives to live happily and in peace with oneself is not taught in modern academia because it would go against social conditioning to want a person of independence and independent thought. It would only take away process from those who exploit it. Walking in the fine line of having independent thought control morals and beliefs in yourself will be the change others see. Lead by action, not through words. And ignore distractions, temptations, poisons, and living aimlessly. You need to have a goal. What I'm trying to say here is that you need to remind yourself of what and who you are. What has our species accomplished? What has it done in spite of all the natural and artificial factors that plague it? How does our species persist when even in the most dire and destructive conditions? How do we think to so little of ourselves because we have yet to experience something grand in ourselves? Or have we not been tested both mentally and physically to our limits? Have we lost the ability to cultivate willpower and empower ourselves, or are we mentally being oppressed to believe we do not have that strength? While serious in your exploration to Qi, be cautious of outside forces. Do not let outside influences harm you on your journey. Do not let in other spiritual entities or listen to their invitations or give in to their demands. This is, of course, talking about entities that you deal with along the way. Practice Qi the way you wish, with or without morals and rules, but with a direction that you want to take it. Meditation can become quite spiritual, and the higher level experiences may not be right for everyone. Take care of yourself on this journey. Document everything. Write several hypotheses. Use creativity to help your mental process, and as always, practice with caution. I see more pros than cons of using Qi cultivation and manipulation. Meditating on the pineal gland for a couple minutes to regain full energy, or loosening tired muscles on command, is pretty impressive. Meditation practice has helped with my discipline and my work ethic, conceptualizing and finalizing projects, helping myself become more relaxed and comfortable in my own body. I found the most fun was expelling large amounts of heat from my palms to other people's palms. The most amount, actually, the point on that, the idea that you can, of course, channel Qi from your palm outward in heat, but also to demonstrate it on people and just be like, hey, stick out your hand, and so hot. All right. Meditation practice has helped with the discipline of my work, yada, yada, yada. The most important of the life lessons and perspectives I learned in this project was just how mind-blowing and unbelievable all this seemed just 3 years ago. Factor in time about 4 years ago. But if you were to look at this with a different perspective, say the reality is all perceived and constructed mentally, and the mind can change reality, then you understand how to make new perspectives on life. I mean to say that it's all worth it in the end if you owe it to yourself to step out of your comfort and into this unknown. You might learn a thing or two about yourself that you didn't know you could. Maybe a little more. It is all of the mind, after all. So with that, leaving the book and a little fun mandala. I think it's $10 on Amazon. If you want it, go buy it. I would appreciate your support. Out of that, I'm working on other books as well that are fictional, but applying, different ideas into that based off of this. And I want to see, what your story is, what your take is. If you guys have any comments on this or any questions, please feel free to leave them. I know it's a long video, but I appreciate you staying this far if you have. And if you like to check out the rest of the videos that I have many different talks of just cultivation in general, what it means to do biokinesis. And leading up to this time, I think I will definitely do videos based off the topics based in this book, so that there is also the book, and then there are also the free videos that you can watch and learn yourself about Qi. All right. Peace be with you. Wicked, wicked. All right. I'll see you guys later.